Hey guys, I'm Desikan and today's video is gonna be about my top 3 makeup products in every category like face, eyes, and so and so. So in today's video, I don't really have any lip products to talk to you guys about because I have another idea for that and that video is coming up later sometime. This is not my original concept. I have seen a lot of people, especially like international YouTubers, do this. So credit goes wherever it's due. And in some categories, I just have like 2 products, but in another couple of days I have like about 4 products, just to compensate. I've just compensated it the right way because in some I just didn't want to include the product just for the heck of including it, but in others I just couldn't avoid it because these were my absolute favorites. So let's get started. Firstly, for eyebrow, I have my Sugar Arch Arrival eyebrow pencils. These are something that I have been using ever since I've got them, and I like them a lot. Like, I feel like they're very easy for me to fill in my brows, especially where intricately, wherever there's like a little bit of lack of hair, bald patches, it's a lot easier to fill this with that. It also has a spoolie on the other side, and it also has like a powder end, which I've almost never used because I feel like the eyebrow pencil and the spoolie does the job for me. I have it in 2 shades. I use the shade Jerry Brown more than the shade called taupe Tom, because taupe is a little bit darker for my hair, I feel like, and dark brown I feel like somehow melts and gels with my hair. Even though my eyebrow hair is naturally dark, I like the shade Jerry Brown, which is like a dark brown shade. And then another eyebrow product which I have is this LA Girl Brow Pomade, which is one of my favorite brow products. I used to use this a lot back in the day, and then for some reason I just stopped filling in my brows because I used to feel like I was just overdoing it at one point of time. And right now I know exactly how to fill it. I've got the hang of it and I can manage it. Before that, it used to be like, stop. It used to be like, this is how my eyebrows used to look at me, and that's how I used to feel it looks. But now I know exactly how to fill it, where to fill it in, and some places I just let it be. And then I have another product which is the Blue Heaven Artisto Eyebrow Pencil Styler. So this I recently discovered about like a month or 2 ago, and I have been reaching out for this a lot, especially when I want to sit down to get ready. I really like the shape of this pencil. It gives me the precision I want. I don't go overboard with this, and it is not too pigmented, but it's not very light as well. So it's really nice that way, especially for someone who has like thicker eyebrows, to be able to fill in my brows like that. And it has a spoolie. So I don't really like eyebrow products without like a brush or without a spoolie, because then you have to find a spoolie in your collection, and not a lot of people own everything, right? So it's better if the brand gives it to you. And so yeah, those are the 3 products that I really like in the eyebrow category. And then for eyeshadow palette, I don't really use any eye primer. I just use my concealer as an eye primer. So I'm just moving on to eyeshadow palette right now. The first one is a very affordable one. This is the Mars I Belong in Your Purse eyeshadow palette. I love this one, and it is something I have used a lot. It comes with a really nice mirror. This mirror has helped me so much because the other mirror that I have is this one, which is quite big. Okay, you have to open it up. It occupies quite a lot of space on my table, and if you look at my table right now, you will be like, what in the hell is this? Because it's that messy. And so this palette, I love the shades, apart from the mirror, of course. I love the price point of this. Really affordable. For 199 rupees, you get 9 eyeshadows, matte eyeshadows, beautiful pigmented shimmer shades, amazing. And it's something that you can use on a daily basis if you want to, and it has like warmer shades which are definitely up my alley. I don't really like very colorful shades, very cool tone shades, and I feel like warm tones are for me, and I really like the shimmer in this. It's not like flaky shimmery, but it also has the right amount of shimmer I always look for in my eyeshadow palette. So I really like this one, and it's a really nice option from the affordable range. And then the next couple of ones that I have are not so affordable but really good eyeshadow palettes, and something that I have used for quite some time. This one is the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered eyeshadow palette. The reason I like this is because it has everything you would need, and you wouldn't have to go out and pick up another eyeshadow just to get that one shade right. So it has a dark brown, it has a nice warm brown, it has a black, it has a sort of like a taupe shade right here. It has nice shimmer shades and good transition shades, and this one is very like skin tone friendly in my opinion. Even if you are of a deeper skin tone than I am and a couple of shades deeper, this would still show up on you. A lot of eyeshadow palettes don't really do that, and I feel like even eyeshadow palettes is something that you have to be inclusive in. There are some eyeshadow palettes that don't really show up that vibrant on my eyelids, and so this one is really nice. I really like it, and the shimmer shades are beautiful, and it's a really nice compact mirror. And if you are a makeup artist, or even if you are just getting ready in general and you want to travel with one eyeshadow palette, this would be like that one and done eyeshadow palette. You don't really need to travel with multiple ones. So I'm talking about this in the sense, like if I have to just talk about my top 3 makeup products, and if these were just the makeup products in my collection, how I would go about it. So that is the kind of thing that I am trying to mix in with this concept. I have already done a video like this, like my makeup collection if I wasn't a YouTuber. I will link that video right here. And also another eyeshadow palette, of course, is my Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. This palette, like look at that, it's so dirty. This has been with me through some very important occasions, and when I had to get ready, it was always by my side. I love this palette, you guys. It is a little bit bigger to travel with, and also Morphe eyeshadow palettes are so delicate they might break. Even if you like pack it in your travel makeup bag, or like if you have a suitcase and you're packing it, it can break. Just keep that in mind, because mine was really messy, but I like every eyeshadow in this. And so you again have everything you would need. You don't really have to go ahead and buy something else. So when you're just starting out with makeup, you're really confused and you don't really know what you need and what is the thing that's going to work for you. A palette like this, or the palette like a Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette, would give you more time to figure out what you need, because they have pretty much everything you would need. Like if you're getting ready for a certain occasion, so if you're like, say you're getting ready for an occasion, you'd have your basic shades in that. The Huda Beauty one doesn't really have any colorful eyeshadow shades in that, but the Morphe one does. So this was one palette that I owned way before all of these eyeshadow palettes, and I didn't find the need to have multiple eyeshadow palettes. And when I was getting ready and when I was traveling, this was sufficient. And then I have, like I mentioned, one more in this category of eyeshadow palettes, and this is a recent favorite and I haven't been able to put this one down. This is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde eyeshadow palette. I'm so glad you guys asked me to pick this one up, because just amazing shimmer shades, amazing matte shades. It looks like I haven't used all of the shades, because I've been like mostly digging into these shades, this one right here, and a couple of the lighter shades. But I feel like it's a nice palette to own if you were looking for these kind of like a little like different shades in your collection. And I really like this, but I don't feel like this is very like deep skin friendly. So then let's move on to eyeliner. The first one is the Huda Beauty Life Liner. Every single time I think of a black pigmented liner that would last on my eyelid for a long time and wouldn't fade away or flake, because some eyeliners actually flake and this one doesn't do that. I really like this. It doesn't give me the precision I want to. If it was more like a sketch eyeliner, it would be a lot more easier, but it's a really nice eyeliner. And the other two are pretty much the same kind of eyeliners. This is from the brand Swiss Beauty, and I have also the same thing from the brand Mars. Both of these are pretty much the same. They're very pigmented black and they stay for a really long time. They're not like, so this is a sketch eyeliner. Both of these have the same kind of tip. It's very easy to use, and especially if you are someone who does like very nice wing liner, this will help you get that precise wing and it wouldn't mess up the application. So that is pretty much with all the liners I wanted to talk to you guys about. Let's move on to kajal. The first one is the Sugar Coal of Honor Intense Kajal in the shade Blackout. Now this is not as intense as the name suggests, but it's a really nice kajal that I like to use on a daily basis. It is pretty black. It does stay in my waterline for almost like the entire day. I come back home and see, I can still see a little bit of the residue left. It's not the blackest black, but I don't really mind it. It doesn't create a mess, but it's not really like smudge proof. I've not really found any kajals like that. But a nice one, and doesn't sting and poke my eye and like burn my eye, which is a problem for me. I have very sensitive eyes and I keep in mind those points whenever I try out kajal. And then the Bellora Coal Kiss Intense Kajal. This is a very black kajal. It's like very pigmented. Just one light swipe of that, that's the pigmentation that you would get, and it's very easy to apply it. You can smudge it with an eyeshadow. It'll give you that stark black line. Like, let me show you guys, because like right now my kajal is faded. See? It's nice and black. Oh. Nice, no? And another one which not a lot of people like, but for some reason I have used this one so much that I'm almost out of this. This one is the Nykaa Rock the Line Kajal. I really like this. It's not like super pigmented, nor is it like very long lasting, but it's very easy to apply on my eyes. And again, it's a really nice kajal to use on a daily basis where it doesn't move all over and it doesn't stick and burn my eye. That's the only reason I actually really like this kajal and have used it so much that I'm almost out of this. Let's move on to mascara. So for mascara, I have the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara, one of my favorite. It adds a good amount of length, volume, and it doesn't like stick onto my lashes. So I really like this one. And a very similar alternative is the Mars Fabulash mascara. I love this. This is what I have on my eyes today as well. It gives you length, it gives you volume. It's really nice for someone who has like very wispy eyelashes. I don't really have very nice natural eyelashes, but this is a mascara that gives you that beautiful look. And most of the times I skip false lashes because I use this mascara, and it's okay for me. I mean, for some people it might be a little bit too less, but it works beautifully for me. This mascara has people in half and half. Some people really like it, some people don't really like it at all because it can be a little bit clumpy on your lashes, but I'm okay with it. Like, I have it right now, it's not clumpy or anything. So a nice mascara. And another one which I don't really have right here is my Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara, one of my absolute favorite mascaras. It's not very volumizing, but it does have a decent amount of length to it. So for face, in the category of primers, I have these. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth primer, and this one is the Sugar Aquaholic Priming Moisturizer. Both of these have like a moisturizer kind of a consistency, very apt for people with normal to dry skin, very hydrating, and any foundation just pretty much goes on smooth, glides on. I have additional products as well. I will show you guys in just a bit, but this one is a very nice primer. And then another one that I really like, I don't really classify this as a primer, but I use this right after I use my primer or before my primer. This one is the Color Bar Cellular Dry Oil. This makes any foundation glide on. It gives you a little bit of glow, especially if you have dry skin. Use this one, and most of the foundations look really nice on top of this. So this is not a primer necessarily, but it's a very important, vital step for me in my makeup routine, and this has changed my base game for sure. So that is the reason I wanted to include it, but I didn't know in which category to include it, so I'm just including it in the primer category itself. And let's move on to the next one that we have, that is foundation. So for foundation, I have the first one I wrote down as soon as I was planning out this video is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. If you are a bride and you're doing your own makeup, or you want to carry your own makeup for certain occasions, you're wondering which one to carry but you don't want to shell out a lot of money, try out the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Amazing, photographs really well, and it wears pretty well on normal to dry skin types. Now most of the products I'm going to be talking about are my favorite products, top 3 products for me. So it will be products that cater towards my skin type, that is pretty much normal to dry skin. So this foundation works like a charm for me, and it photographs so well, and it doesn't oxidize as well, and it looks fresh throughout the day. So you can keep it at light medium coverage and then it will look like skin, or you can build it up as well. And I wouldn't build this one up too much, like keep it like slightly above medium coverage and you're good to go. And I have this one in 2 shades because praline is a little bit warmer for my skin tone, but this is how I like my foundation to be because it doesn't make anything look ashy on my face. And I also have this one in the shade Sand. If this one gets a little bit too dark for me, I can mix both of that and get my perfect match. That's how much I love this foundation. And the other one that I have included in this video is the Charlotte Tilbury Air Blush. Every single time. Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I have this one in the shade 7.5 Warm. I feel like it matches me pretty well. And it does dry down a little bit, so I prefer this shade on my skin. And what an amazing foundation. One pump, you get pretty much full coverage. It doesn't look cakey on my skin at all, and it also has a little bit of glow to it. So with all of my skin prep and the primer and this and the primers that I'm using, and I just use this one on top of it. It looks really nice. So I have used this product with the Hollywood Florist filter, and I have used it without that as well. Both the ways it looks really nice. With the Hollywood Florist filter from Charlotte Tilbury, it looks a little bit more glowy, but without that, again, it looks really nice. So I like this foundation. Sometimes Nykaa has a 10% discount, and that's the ideal time to pick up that foundation. And I also have another foundation, which is the PAC Spotlight foundation, and I can hear you guys tell me like, what, you have the Spotlight foundation and not the PAC HD foundation? Wow, we bought that foundation on your recommendation and you haven't even included it in today's video. Hear me out. That's a beautiful foundation. Given a top 4, I would still have this foundation as well. Like, I can just include it in this video as well. But the reason I like this one slightly over this foundation is because this foundation doesn't exaggerate my texture. It's not cakey looking, it's not matte, but it just looks very nice on skin. I can't even describe it. So on days where I have a little bit of texture on my skin, like today, I can use this product. I haven't used it because I filmed another video. I'm batch filming right now. I cannot change my makeup, but I would definitely have this foundation for those days, and it matches me to the dot. I have this in the shade Wild Bamboo, and what an amazing match. They don't really have a wide shade range like they have in this foundation. This is more popular than this, okay? But I just love it. And the PAC HD foundation, I had it right here on my table because I was still using it. And I intentionally had to put this one aside. A beautiful foundation if you are looking for an affordable foundation to wear to any special occasions. I have worn this for my brother's wedding, reception, everything, and it photographed so well. It was having no flashback, it looked like skin, but the only thing is, because the shade range is so vast, I find it hard to find my exact shade match because I haven't really gone to a store to pick it up, and I don't think I can right now as well. And also it is a little bit like glowy looking on the skin. If you don't really have a lot of texture, then it's okay, but if you have texture or acne, it will like emphasize it because it has a little bit of that glowy look. So now moving on to concealers, I have my absolute favorite ride or die concealers, the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. Again, this one has been with me through thick and thin. I had this one in another shade called Tan Sand. I lost that, and I was so upset when I did that because I used to use it almost every single day to mask up the pigmentation around my mouth. I had a lot of pigmentation, you guys. Right now, through really good skincare products and a good constant regime and a really good routine, I've been able to tackle it a little bit, like reduce the way it used to look. But back in the day, I used to have very stark pigmentation that anyone and everyone can observe. Why did I give you so much backstory? That's why I really like the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, because it was full coverage, it could mask up everything, and it stayed on my skin for almost the entire day, and it didn't really move around that much even if I used it underneath my eye, and I don't really have to set this concealer. That's what I really like also. So a very nice full coverage concealer. But if you have very dry skin underneath your eyes, oh, you will hate it. The next one we have is the Too Faced Born This Way Concealer. This is also full coverage, a little bit more creamier and a lot less drying than the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This one you can set it depending on your preference. This would work for a lot of skin types as opposed to the Tarte Shape Tape, and you can find your shade match as well, and most of the times Nykaa has buy one get one. So if you wanted to pick up like 2 shades in this, you can still do that, or if you wanted to buy the foundation and a concealer, that will be the ideal time. And then a concealer that doesn't look like you have too much of makeup on, especially if you have texture, dryness, a lot of fine lines underneath your eyes or anywhere in general. If you wanted to use a concealer, this is the one you should be trying out. This is a Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. Absolute, it's like a dream in a bottle for me. Because I was looking for a concealer that sometimes, you know, when your skin is a little bit dry, you can't really use a concealer like the Tarte Shape Tape. So I wanted something that could match my skin to the dot, but not look like I have too much of makeup on. And even by the end of the day, it should not look like it's faded away in patches or anything. And it should still end up looking like skin. So yeah, that is a huge list of demand. And what in the world is going to do that for you? Well, this one did that for me. So that's the reason this is my favorite concealer. I have put this one aside because I'm so scared I'm going to finish this up, and I have to get it from Cult Beauty, pay customs duty. So that's the reason I'm keeping this aside. But this one is in the shade Sucre D'orge. perfect match for if you are of my skin tone. Like from all the references you can see, if you wanted a perfect match, this amazing. I didn't really have to use any makeup whenever I use this. Blends beautifully underneath the eyes, doesn't cake up, doesn't dry out, and creases a little bit, but I can see past that. Very creamy, lightweight concealer. And then I don't really set my powder concealers that much, but if I were to do that, I have some products for that. The Makeup Revolution Luxury Powder in the shade Banana, a very nice powder. It's a little bit brightening as well, but it's not too yellow looking on the skin, and it's not too stark, so you can use this for baking. It doesn't really look like yellow as such. It has a light yellow pigment, but I wouldn't suggest keeping it on for a very long time. Dust it off and you're good to go. You can use this for your rest of your face as well. And look at the quantity you get. You get 42 grams of product, so that this you can use for a really long time, and it's a very nice finely milled loose powder. And another one that I have is sitting right here. Oh my god, edge of the table. What? It's expensive. This one is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. It's a very nice, smooth, finely milled powder. And again, if you have a lot of like lines and you're not able to set your concealer because of that, and you feel like it's just adding on, caking up, you can try this. You can use this for the rest of your face as well. It's a very nice powder. And then let's move on to blush. I just have two blushes I want to talk to you guys about. The Wet n Wild blush in the shade Mellow Wine. I have been using this for so long, and you can never go wrong with this kind of a blush. Even if you have like a cool tone look, even if you have a lot of color on your eyelids, your blush will not look too stark. It'll pretty much gel with all of your makeup looks, and it's a really nice unique shade of blush, and it's a matte blush, but it never dries and clings onto my skin or texture. So that's the reason I really like that. And I also have another blush, which is one of my first blushes from MAC. This one is the MAC blush in the shade Desert Rose. Again, a matte blush that doesn't cling onto your skin, and it's not too overpowering. You can build on it. That's the kind of blush I like. I don't really like very pigmented blushes because you go in and then you don't know what to do, and you have to like sit and blend it all out. But this, you can build on it, and this is again a very it looks very mauvey on in the pan, like a very mauvey pink blush, but it's very neutral on the skin, and again goes well with pretty much all of my makeup looks. So these are blushes that have been in my collection for the longest time, something that I've used for the longest time, and I've never, got bored of these. I have to, of course, try out a lot of different blushes because of what I'm doing, but given a chance, just these two blushes would do it for me. And of course, my lipsticks. Most of my creamy lipsticks always go on my cheek as a blush. And then for bronzer, some recent discoveries, the Huda Beauty Tan Tour. I like this so much. It's very creamy but super pigmented. So if you are of my skin tone, get the shade lighter. This one is in the shade medium, which is really, really pigmented. And little goes a long way, blends in no time, and adds the right amount of like shadow to your skin. It's not too warm, but it's not too cool either. And it's not muddy looking on the skin. I love cream products. So that is one, and I also have another one from NY Bay. This is their contour stick in the shade Toffee. You don't really get a lot of product. You get like 4 grams of product, which it's okay for me because this is really affordable. This wouldn't work for you if you are of a deeper skin tone than I am, but it's a really nice contour shade. It looks like greenish in the tube, but it adds a nice shadow, and it's very easy to blend this. It doesn't mess with my makeup, and adds a slight amount of warmth as well as a little bit of shadow to my face. And then for a powder bronzer, I have the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I have the mini variant because I picked this one up on a discount. Did you guys see the Sephora discount recently where all of these products went for flat 50% off? Did you pick it up? You could get this for as low as 850 rupees. So let me know if you did pick up anything, because I got 2 products. Should I notify you guys every time these kind of discounts come up? Let me know. Where should I notify? What should I do? Let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, you could get this for 850 rupees, and I love this. Initially, I thought it was a little bit too light for my skin, but it's actually the perfect tone for my skin tone. If you are a little bit deeper, it might not show up on you. Like if I swatch it on my hand, it is a little bit deeper than my skin, it doesn't really show up that much, but it adds a subtle warmth. That's how I like it, subtle. I don't want anything that is too overpowering, too much, and I can work on it and blend. And then for highlighter, first up I have my MAC Strobe cream. I use this before my foundation, after my foundation, mix it in with my foundation. So a nice dewy product. And I also have the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Both really nice products. This one is a little bit more creamy, adds a little bit more glow to your skin. If you want that glow to be visible from underneath your foundation, like if you're using a full coverage foundation and you want that glow to be visible, Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, this does it. This one is a little bit subtle in that way, but you can use this on the high points of your cheek, mix it in with your foundation. It does add a good glow. So both of these are very similar, very subtle highlighters. You can use this on a day-to-day basis as well. And this one is in the shade Gold Light and this one is in the shade Tan. So, and then a stick highlighter that I really like is this one from Sugar. This one is their Face Forward highlighter stick in the shade Bronze Bellwether. I think you've heard me talk about this so much. This one is not the most natural looking highlighter, especially if you want to wear it on a day-to-day basis without any makeup. But if you have foundation on and then you apply this, it blends in with your foundation and doesn't look as shimmery. It doesn't highlight, exaggerate anything, and it looks nice and creamy on your skin. So I really like this. And then finishing up everything with a setting spray. I like my Wet n Wild Natural Finish setting spray. Very affordable, has a nice glow to your skin. So if you have oily skin, you might not really like this, but I love it. And then I like my PAC Micro Finish Makeup Fixer. I really like the nozzle of this. It's a lot more easier. There's going to be no like mascara rundown or anything. Sometimes, you know, setting sprays just to like squirt products out like and it's all over your eyes and there's mascara rundown on your face and it wrecks your makeup. But this one doesn't do that because it's very fine and a nice mist. And you get a lot of quantity as well. So yeah, that pretty much completes everything in the face makeup, eye makeup category. For lips, I have another video coming up as well. Stay tuned for that. So let me know what are your favorite, like absolute favorite must-have products, like 3 products in your makeup collection. It doesn't really have to be from every category, but like 3 products you cannot do without in your makeup collection. I would love to read through those comments. Let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.